What's good, everybody? It's Batman, and today we're going to be doing a Naruto reaction video. It's been a bit since we've done some Naruto reactions, so we're going to be getting some along the way for you guys. 'Cause I know you guys have been really missing that and wanted me to do that. It's one of you guys' favorite reactions, at least numbers and stats-wise, too. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and who we're going to be checking out, he's called Dat Boy Fred, okay? That's a name, but he's... literally has just started. He's doing his thing, whatever. He has actually tons and tons of videos, but it's been a very long time since he's actually posted, in 2 years, so maybe he's stopped. I don't know, but either way, definitely check him out. He has tons of other content as well if you guys want to see. But the title of this video, it just caught my attention because I was like, wait a minute, like a 3v1? Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was the first thing. I was like, wait a minute, 3v1, you don't really see those a lot. And then two, it was HASHBROWNS versus ITACHI, OBITO, and SASUKE. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys. You know, if it's ITACHI, OBITO, and SASUKE, like, I'm just going to be honest. They don't win, bro. Like, if I'm being honest, man, like, HASHBROWNS is just built different, bro. Like, he is literally the god of the shinobi, bro. Like, it's been stated so many times that the only guy that can even stand a chance remotely to Hashirama is Madara, mind you. And Madara has said so many times that, like, the only one that can beat him is Hashirama. And it's literally been shown by feats as well, you name it. And remind you, while Hashirama is normally holding back, or if he's serious, then he washes Madara too. So, like, I'm just being real with you. Hashirama has not had anybody to really give him an L until Jubito came involved. Once that, like, that 6-path tier level of scaling came into play, that's when there was problems with our boy Hashirama. Woodman is what I like to call him, or HASHBROWNS, okay? So, like, I'm just being honest, bro. You know what I mean? Like, so, it doesn't even matter if this is a 3v, what, you know? Like it's kind of like having the Shinobi Alliance against Madara. Like, who cares if there's, like, thousands of ninja? If they're all fodder, what are they to him, right? You know? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. I'm not saying Itachi and Obito and Sasuke are fucking dog water, because I'm assuming he's using EMS Sasuke, too. But these people, just the level of scaling that they have and the feats that they have, it's just not enough. Like, this is just not possible, you know? Even running on Obito would not be enough for Hashirama. It's just not going to work, bro. Hashirama is literally a powerhouse. Like, he has wood style that could literally practically deal with anything that he needs it to deal with. The fucking full power of the Nine Tails, for crying out loud. Okay, and he dealt with the Nine Tails like it was literally his little pet, basically, you know? So that's all I'm getting at. Obito, he has, like, the best chance to prolong the inevitable, because he could just do Kamui, and then Hashirama won't be able to fucking hit him, and he would just have to bypass the 5-minute timer, or fucking the moment Obito has balls in order to try to attack him, then Hashirama, bam, would deal with him right there and then, you know? That's basically what you're working with. Obito would be the only one that wouldn't be taken out immediately, but Itachi and Sasuke, they're absolutely fucked. Like, there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. So, but yeah, that's kind of my initial take. I'm not going to make my intro too long. We're going to get into the video, but I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to see what this is all about. I'm going to get my bitch ass, my headphones, because I'm over here slacking. I got my Naruto hat, as you guys can see right here. What's it called? I got my Kakashi hoodie. We ready to go, bro. We ready for this damn reaction. So, I'm plugging my damn headphones real quick, and let's get it. The audio is way too loud, so we're gonna lower that.
Yo, what's going on? This is Dat Boy Fred. Welcome back to another video, and I know it's been quite some time. It's been about 3 weeks now since I last uploaded a video, and I apologize. I was busy. School's coming to an end, so I was focusing in on that.
Life's life, man.
But I'm back for the summer to give you guys...
You never gotta apologize. Life is life, man.
Weekly content again, and we're going to start off with a banger. We have Hashirama versus the 3 next strongest Uchiha, being Obito, Itachi, and Sasuke. Now, of course, we know how the Hashirama and Madara situation go, but then I was thinking to myself, what about the next 3? Who are the next big 3 Uchihas who could maybe even put a threat to Hashirama? And it will be these 3. And so we're going to be using the latest version of Itachi. We're going to be using Sasuke pre 6-path powers, and we're going to be using Obito pre 10 tails power. So let's get straight into it.
Okay,
and,
so it is a Renegade.
Okay, first thing in this I feel that we have to establish is basically.
So I'm gonna say this really quick too before this gets any further. Running on Obito, like, I gotta do a little bit more homework and get into it. Eventually, I'll do a video on it in time. But there is, debatably, there is a discussion at hand between whether or not if Rinnegan Obito is actually stronger than Orange Mask Obito. And what I mean by that is when you actually analyze Rinnegan Obito, like, the dude, like, he just has, like, his feats are really not that great. One of the reasons is because of of him being so fatigued and drained chakra and stamina wise, because, you know, he's controlling all, like, the Edos, the Edo Tenseis, the Tail Beast and shit. He's utilizing the Geto statue, you know what I mean? Like, he has the Rinnegan, which is extremely taxing since it's not his eye. It's kind of like Kakashi using the Sharingan. And things like that, and he even refuses to even use the Rinnegan abilities because of just how much chakra it takes a toll on him. Like, it's a big deal. And there's a statement verbatim where, like, he said he would have lost his mind with just one alone. You know what I mean? And, like, there's a bunch of stuff to collaborate the notion that I'm conveying, basically. But overall, it's basically counterintuitive in a sense. Like, it does give him power, but it was more of power and convenience, if that makes sense. To where, you know, he had the Tail Beast at his side and things like that. He could utilize the Rinnegan abilities, worst case scenario if he needed to, yada, 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 right? So, like, there is a discussion of whether or not if this would actually be even more problematic than beneficial. So I'm just putting that out there. You know, I'm not saying that's concrete or absolutely the case or whatever, but, you know, that just kind of wanted to do that. Because, again, like, we see our boy Obito going hand-to-hand combat, scrapping with Guy in base with nunchucks, you know, and shit like that. So, like, the fact that he's fighting Guy equally, you know what I mean? That is a bad showing. You know what I mean? It's Guy in base with nunchucks, bro. He's not even using fucking gates. You know what I mean? Like, the only time Obito was actually, like, doing well was when he was spamming Kamui and just, you know, surviving against KCM 2 Naruto and KCM 1 Naruto. You know what I mean? Well, to be fair, fatigue KCM Naruto. He does fight... you know, so yeah, but then KCM 2 Naruto, like, he had to do Kamui, because anytime he tried to fight against KCM 2 Naruto, he would get bitched every single time. The only thing that was effective against KCM 2 Naruto was his Kamui jutsu activation, and what was it? Oh yeah, wood style, that's what it was. Other than that, like, body stats, like taijutsu, everything you name it, he could not fuck with him, which it makes sense because KCM 2 is a big deal. So, again, I just want to kind of put that out there. Like, at most, if the best you can give Rinnegan Obito and, like, speed scaling and power overall-wise is just KCM territory. Like, if he's starting right off the whip, right, with the Rinnegan and, like, fresh, no nothing, right, then it'd probably be around there, right? I would say, why not? You know what I mean? But the problem is, the longer he's fighting or whatever, with the Rinnegan that he has, the more weaker he's going to get quicker and quicker. So, eventually, it's just going to be to a point where he's not going to be able to retain that KCM speed is what I'm getting at. And it's just really his Kamui that's his saving fucking grace, you know? So, yeah, that's all I wanted to kind of put out there. And obviously with Itachi, the highest you can get with him is KCM. Sasuke, he fluctuates with his EMS. I'm not going to get into that. Let's watch the video.
Where these three rank up against top tier guys like Madara and Hashirama anyways. So, we know that Itachi is stronger than Sasuke. But the point that we're talking about, where Sasuke is just before he gets, basically the point where Sasuke dies originally, so he has a Susanoo with legs and all.
My bad. This is kind of random, but he has the voice of Naruto explained in a way. He sounds very similar to him.
I believe that Sasuke is slightly stronger than Itachi, and I think that's very valid to say. So
beginning, no, blatantly emphasize he's not. But if it's like the end of the war arc, then that's understandable because it is implied in a sense that he has the perfect Susanoo now.
They are relatively close, but I do feel like Sasuke takes the edge now. And now Obito is with the Rinnegan probably 2 stages above both of them, because Obito, the Rinnegan, was still able to take on KCM 2 Naruto. Well. Yeah, KCM 2, Naruto, 6-Gate Guy, Kakashi, and also, 6-Gate Guy and Kakashi. So, yeah, he was...
So, we don't really know where 6-Gate Guy really stands at, so that's kind of irrelevant for me. And as for Kakashi, he's Kakashi, right? Low Kage, bare minimum, arguably mid-Kage level. For Obito though, I don't know where he's getting all that. Like to say like he's leagues above. I don't know about all that. It's a little bit up there for me. But again, like with everything, I'm not gonna repeat myself. With everything I said before, that's why I think again it's not looking too great. And the highest you could even get Obito, again, remarkably, that we just know based off feats alone, statements, whatever, tons of statements actually, is that Naruto needed to master the Nine Tails power, and when he does that, it's originally KCM, right? And then when he does the full mastery, then it's like KCM 2. But it was mainly hinting towards KCM 1 the entire fucking time. Tons and tons of narrative emphasis and statements around that. So you can get him bare minimum to KCM or even slightly above KCM, but that's about it, but other than that, but like if we're using like Rinnegan Obito like throughout the entirety of the fucking war, he is dog shit. He's literally base guy level, bro. Like
was able to take on all these guys, and actually they even tried to sneak up on him, and he still was able to handle them. He didn't lose the fight whatsoever. He was actually relatively doing just fine. That fight only...
His Kamui is broken, though. That I'll give all day, every day. Kamui is cracked. But here's the problem, though. It doesn't even matter because Edo Madara was dealing with KCM2 Naruto, Bloodlusted, remind you, with a mental amp like it was fucking nothing, So, like, again, that realm of power is just not enough. You know what I mean? For Hashirama, obviously. But, overall, like, that would be the only thing I would have, like, above someone like, Itachi, and even Sasuke. Like, fucking, like, the Kamui shit is crazy. Like, his jutsu activation speed is nuts,
Came to his disadvantage when Kakashi started realizing their Kamuis were connected. So, before that, he was pretty much handling 3 extremely top-tier ninjas at this point in time. So, yeah. And... like I said earlier, Itachi and Sasuke are neck and neck with each other, Sasuke being probably the stronger one. But we do have things like Itachi, being out of these 3, I would say Itachi probably is the smartest, and that's pretty fair to say. So
facts, absolutely. Yeah, he takes that intelligence department.
Itachi does have the brains of these 3, which the good thing about all 3 of these guys, they're all very intelligent ninja, so none of them are going to make...
Yeah, quick critique as well. I know we're only 3 minutes in, but he makes a lot of claims, but he doesn't prove those claims. That's kind of the only problem. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to say, like, a very well-known all-around claim, right? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you say something like this everybody knows, right? Like, oh, Naruto has the Nine Tails power, right? Like, obviously you don't need to fucking prove that, right? But there's certain like big claims that he's making, and he hasn't shown any evidence for that at all.
Dumb mistakes. They're all gonna think through very vividly about what they do and how they plan about taking on someone like Hashirama. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the simple fact of which Hashirama we're going to talk about. I'll speak on a live Hashirama because that's predominantly who I want to talk about, but I'll probably split it evenly between reanimated and alive because both of their cases are slightly different, but pretty much are the same at the same time.
Yeah.
So basically, going into this, to start this off one more time, we also have to establish that I believe it's...
I'm going to speed this up.
Pretty close to say that the possibility of Hashirama getting hit with a Genjutsu at some point in time is pretty, like, I want to say it's extremely likely, but at the same time I don't, because he never did fall to Genjutsu against Madara after all these years, at least in the shows, the fights that we were able to see. So him falling into a Genjutsu against 3 Uchiha is very possible, let's say that. It probably is very...
So I'll say this, with Genjutsu, it would just be a non-factor, like, it's just not... Now, Itachi is the only one, maybe, that can pull it off. I'll give that, with his Tsukiyomi is what I'm referring to. That's a maybe, if that could potentially work, because... The reason why Tsukiyomi is such a problem, you guys should already know this, but I'll just say just in case, Tsukiyomi is a hacks-based genjutsu. It's kind of similar to Kodo, to where it doesn't matter about, like, canceling genjutsu, whatever, or things like that. Like, if you're putting it, you're fucked, because he can literally manipulate space-time, all that shit, okay? Like, he literally did the Tsukiyomi within a picosecond to his girl. So, like, overall, the problem is... Like, Tsukiyomi is just, that is, and it's stated so many times, if you get hit by Tsukiyomi, you're done for, basically. You know what I mean? So, the only arguments you can utilize against Tsukiyomi is, like, resistance, you know what I mean? Whether if you think, like, someone has, like, enough scaling Sharingan-wise resistance or just scaling overall, you could try to argue around those parameters. But, again, just me, because it gets contentious to very, blurry around this area. But that's about the only thing I could see possibly get Hashirama if he's caught lacking. But I'm gonna be real with you, Hashirama, he's not dumb. He knows the Uchiha. He's fought them for eons, decades, wars. You really think the dude would even potentially risk looking in the eyes of an Uchiha? You know what I mean? Like, he could easily just look at their, their legs, their chest, whatever, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? And better yet, again, it doesn't even matter because he could just fucking transform to his wood thing and just kill them all immediately. So.
Very likely anyways. So I do want to state that if that does happen, of course that's the easy way out of this fight, then yes, either Hashirama probably will lose if he gets hit with a genjutsu by any of these three, and especially if he gets hit with Tsukiyomi, or the other two don't have any really top tier genjutsu, but Tsukiyomi specifically. And even then, if he does get hit with a quick genjutsu by the other two, Hashirama, unless he has clones out, if it's just his normal body that gets hit by this, they probably will be quick enough to hit him and kill him before.
No, I disagree with that. If he gets hit by a genjutsu, he'd be fast enough to respond, deactivate, and react accordingly. It's been shown plenty of times in the narrative, whatever. As long as you're strong enough, you can deal with genjutsu in time. Like, the only way genjutsu is like a hard fucking counter or really fucks you over is if your scaling is super close to each other, like to where you're equal or like very relative, then you could be fucked. But the fact that Hashirama is already leagues above these people, he'd have enough time. Now again, Tsukiyomi's the only one I would grant. That's it. And that's potentially, not even like, I'm not saying a definitive.
But his Hashirama, his durability and regeneration might actually be able to cover for that. So I cannot confirm that. There's crazy scenarios where you say Itachi genjutsu him, or Obito Sasuke genjutsu him, Itachi Tosca blades him, he's dead. Yeah, you got some scenario like that, then yeah, he's dead. But getting into the true thing, first we'll touch on reanimated Hashirama. So basically with reanimated Hashirama, I feel that this Hashirama is still individually he's stronger than all of them, and it's not a debate. And the reason we know this is because while I feel that all three of these guys can beat all the 5 Kage, Madara is a step above them, and he absolutely obliterated them in comparison to what any of these three could possibly do.
Yep.
And so we also know that this Hashirama, the reanimated one, still managed to beat this same Madara that is now dogging the 5 Kage unmeasurably, like how any of these three Uchihas can. Now, Obito might be able to actually pull off something just similar because of how
holding back, remind you.
The amount of damage Madara put out was unmatched and will not be matched by any of these three. By only them three being combined do I see them doing something that crazy. So with that little point, the main point to prove is that these three probably just still managed to somehow fall directly under reanimation Madara. And the reason I say that is because even if you look at the scaling for all these characters and where they would possibly be at this point in time, if you look at the reanimation characters that they were fighting, okay, take this for example. Jubito was basically stronger than KCM2 Seijimo Naruto and Sasuke, but them combined were able to beat Jubito. So that means that Sasuke should fall somewhere beneath Jubito. Now, if Sasuke scales relevant enough to Jubito to scale just a little bit under him, that means Itachi now falls a little bit below him. So then, if you look at Obito now, Obito, just without no 10 tails, is simply just a flat-out much weaker version of Jubito. But he still scales above Sasuke and Itachi. Now, the reason I just pointed that out is because if we all remember, when Madara came back alive, he absolutely obliterated both Naruto and Sasuke. Like, he destroyed them and basically destroyed anyone that was in his path. Now, the reason I bring that up is now to switch gears slightly off reanimation Hashirama and bring up alive Hashirama really, really quick, because now I think about it, alive Hashirama is going to get talked about very little, it's more reanimated. It now shows that if alive Madara dogged them that badly, and Jubito couldn't even beat them, granted he was messed with in his head, regardless he still was able not to beat them, there is no way in the world they are finding a way to beat alive Hashirama. Because considering the fact that alive Hashirama...
So I'll say this really quick. The only reason why Sasuke and Naruto beat Jubito was because of Talk no Jutsu. It had nothing to do with stats and overall power. Jubito was holding back the entire time, and he was literally playing with his food. There was so many moments where he had them subdued and he could have killed them, and he chose not to. And he was just talking down to Naruto and saying, hey, like, are you done? Like, you know what I mean? So I disagree with that. All because someone beats person B doesn't mean necessarily a skill above them. Again, context matters. Certain parameters do matter, and et cetera, right? So yeah, I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, he was still blatantly above those two. And again, Edo Hashirama and Edo Madara, like, were above those people as well. I'm just being real with you. Like, EMS Sasuke was really only comparable to KCM1 in a sense. And eventually towards the end of the war arc, it's implied that he unlocks the Perfect Susanoo as well. Perfect Susanoo as well, which will kind of bring him along the realm of territory that he'll need to be in order to combat against KCM2 Naruto and things like that, because KCM2 Naruto and KCM2 Seijima Naruto was way above even EMS Sasuke. He was getting fucking really pissed off of how strong Naruto was. So, that's kind of where I'm getting at, so like, yeah, like, I don't agree with all that, like, those, that chain scaling that he's basically putting out there. Like, Alive, he's absolutely correct on that. Alive is it's blatantly obvious, but even Edo, it would be way above, because again, nobody scaled to fucking Jubito. Nobody. Like, he was above everybody, bro. Like, so I don't agree with that,
But beat Madara on multiple occasions. this Madara is now way above. Like, the way he just flat out came out and scaled, he just shot above Jubito for some reason. Like, it just seemed as if he was stronger. But one thing I can say is he looks as if he scaled above him. But the one thing I do know,
and another difference too is Madara, you can't talk no jutsu him. You can't get him out of his convictions or to doubt himself. He's all in, right? You know what I mean? Like he's not playing no bullshit. You know, so that's another difference. Like there's literally no margin for error, bro. Like you gotta be locked in when fighting against someone like Madara. So that's another difference as well. Jubito, like, just all the time is holding back, playing around, testing Naruto, you name it, conflicted, the whole nine, you know?
Fact is that Hashirama did state flat out that Jubito is still stronger than him. So that means that Jubito in a stable state is stronger than both Madara and Hashirama. But in the fact that he could not beat them, he could not beat Sasuke and Naruto, makes him look weaker. So even with the the odd scaling of how his mental status was and making him look weaker, Madara still scales so similarly to him that it's not so much of a gap that you cannot say just flat out that alive Madara and alive Hashirama, either one do not obliterate these three regardless of how they, like, no matter what they do. And then it also comes to the simple fact of Hashirama's alive clones were probably, like, his wood clones are extremely strong. His wood clones alive are probably just as strong as what he was reanimated. And we all know that reanimation is significantly weaker characters. So him being reanimated is probably just as strong as what his normal alive wood clones were. Because if his reanimation was just barely able to hang with this Madara who was stated to be weaker than what his alive stuff. And once we see the gap of what reanimation Madara was and alive Madara, once we see that gap, it's fairly easy to say that alive and 100% Sage Hashirama's clones, wood clones, are probably just as strong as what his reanimation clones were. And if that's the case, once again, then it's no way they're beating alive Hashirama, because now you fade into reanimation Hashirama, they're still going to have an extremely hard time simply because Hashirama, even reanimated, beat Madara. And like earlier when I stated that Madara still, as a reanimation, scales above all three of these characters, probably equally, if not combined. He still is stronger than them. None of them can touch his perfect Susanoo. If Hashirama goes in his wood golem, none of them are touching him in that. So with his deity gates, his ability to tame tail beasts, so Obito isn't going to be able to use the tail beast how he wants to, because Hashirama can tame them at a certain point in time, and it's probably not going to take him very long to defeat these guys, considering the fact that once again his clones are decently strong. Like, they're just right there with shadow clones. They're basically neck and neck for the strongest clone jutsu. So he's not going to have an extremely hard time dealing with them as a whole. It's just the hacks of these three. Like, them fighting him is not going to be the issue. It's going to be the hacks that they all bring out that's going to be the issue. Because for the most part of this video, I've just been dragging them and saying how they can't be Hashirama. But for the most part, they probably will not be able to be Hashirama because of the fact of his healing, his wood golem, his wood dragons, his, all the other things that he has, the deity gates, the wood clones. Hashirama just and then on top of that, that's just base Hashirama to do all this. When you go into Sage Hashirama, if he hits you with 1,000 arms,
imagine like Sasuke does his perfect Susanoo, Hashirama just like summons the deity gate, bam, subdued immediately.
Like, not a single one of them. So yeah. Now, for the most part, I can see these three winning also, like I said, when it comes to hacks. Like, the simple fact of, here's a tactic, maybe you send Obito to go fight Hashirama. Now, if Hashirama doesn't know the true, intel on Kamui, which he won't, basically Hashirama's going to hit Obito and he's going to continuously phase through it. What Itachi and Sasuke can do is throw a Matarasu at Hashirama. If Hashirama gets hit by that, he's going to die. I don't think his regeneration will save him from constantly burning. So yes, if he gets hit with Matarasu, he probably will die. If he gets looped into Izanagi, Izanami. If he gets looped into Izanami, he's probably going to lose and die. Like I stated earlier, if he gets caught by Genjutsu by surprise with 3 Uchihas fighting him, he's probably going to die. So, like,
all the win cons that he's stating just would never be possible or even feasible, and the reason why is because those win cons take, like, relative scaling or equal scaling. And if that's not there, then that's just not going to happen. There's not going to be those openings, especially Izanami. That's a multi-step process that you have to initiate with your opponent. You know what I mean? It's like basically taking photographs in a sense, So, like, again, all these win cons that he's saying, you would have to scale to your opponent. And these people, they don't. Hashirama is way above them, Edo and alive. So, again, that's just not going to happen. Kamui, that's I agree with that. His Kamui would be able to, because I'm sorry, if Obito can use Kamui against Jubi Madara and be just fine, you're not going to tell me, he can't do it to Hashirama. You know what I mean? So, but again, he can only do that for so long and prolong the inevitable. 5 minutes max if he's doing it the whole time. And, and just, there you go, right? And so, like, there's many ways Hashirama could just go around that. He could outlast Obito. He could cancel him out with the 5-minute timer. Whatever. Just keep trying to attack him over and over, or just wait until Obito tries to throw an attack. Like, Obito has two scenarios. Run away or try to attack after using Kamui. And if he tries to attack, Hashirama will punish him. So that's how you're working with. So yeah, I don't agree with all those win cons. The only win con that could potentially be possible is Tsukiyomi. That is the only one I would give. But even then, that is contentious.
Explain it. If they hacks out Hashirama to the absolute max, when I say that he absolutely burns these characters down to the point where they have to use every hacks in the book, there is a possibility they can win. I still will not say for sure they will win. Hashirama, for the most part, will always take this. If you ask me, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Yeah, either 7 or 8 out of 10. Based
Damn.
Because for the most part, I feel that his clones
I'd say
so much.
I'd say 10 out of 10 with alive, fucking Edo, what's it called? You could say 9 out of 10. And again, that's because of me granting Tsukiyomi potentially. That's about it. So
he can shoot out a pretty large amount of clones with his extremely large chakra supply.
like, bro,
because
Hashirama deadass can make a wood clone for each fucking Uchiha. And then just ask him, like, do you want me to do my big ass Buddha wood form or just the wood golem? Which one, bro? Like,
is more so scaled to KCM2 Sage Mode Naruto, who has an absurd amount of chakra, as we all seen. We know that this Hashirama probably has just as much chakra as all three of these guys combined. So yeah, for the most part, he should have the chakra part down pat, and he should not ever come close to running out of chakra. So he should be able to make clones strong enough to handle these guys to the point where their hacks cannot fully affect him himself. And if he's sending clones after Itachi and Sasuke, they're gonna pressure him enough. And eventually, whoever like he sends more clones after, and he decides to send his real body after to well, you know, he goes himself to go fight. Individually, no matter who it is, they're gonna die. Like whoever he fights himself is gonna die. So they're gonna get taken out at some point in time. And then he just has to have clones stall until then. And we know how long Hashirama can fight for. His stamina is extremely well, and we know Itachi's isn't. So if Itachi, you know, burns out chakra quick enough, he's probably gonna be the first to die. And then eventually probably will be Sasuke. And then you will leave Obito simply because Kamui, its time limit is just so, you know, weird. And we don't know if after 5 minutes he can just spam it right again. We never truly got to the bottom of that. But even then, eventually Obito will lose the amount of chakra he has, and he probably will lose as well. So for the most part, I feel that every single time Hashirama probably should win 8 out of 10 times. There is a slight 2% chance that, you know, they do catch Hashirama by surprise and they do, you know, catch him off guard, so he does end up dying. But yeah, that's how I feel in this scenario. Leave your opinions down below in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
bro, if Madara couldn't catch that man off guard, you're not convincing me those three are doing it. I don't want to hear it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, but other than that, it was a good video. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like, there were some things I disagreed with, but it was good overall. Like, at the end of the day, he does agree he's above all three. You know what I mean? He's at least just saying maybe they could pull it off. That's a maybe. You know what I mean? That's fine, you know? But no, it was a good video overall. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below, though. Subscribe for more content coming to the channel. And as always, make sure you like the video as well. Batman out. Peace.